Marvel just keeps making great movies. Like, I am telling you, Marvel keeps hitting these movies and keep hitting them, and they are doing great. And I sat in a theater tonight with a packed theater to a movie called Ant-Man. Ant-Man. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is ending Phase 2 with this movie, and I am glad it is. Avengers was awesome, and this movie was awesome. Paul Rudd plays Scott Lang, who is pretty much Ant-Man. He's a robber, and he does something to do it for his family, and then he goes to jail. He comes out of jail because Michael Douglas is going to give him a second chance, and you know what? He's gonna become Ant-Man. So he's got to train to become Ant-Man to rob this big corporation that Michael Douglas used to pretty much made, and his assistant is Corey Stell, right? Yeah. And then he's taking over the whole thing, and he's got the yellow jacket suit, and pretty much he is going to take over the world, and so Ant-Man's gotta rob his stuff and pretty much stop him. I loved this movie. Ant-Man was an awesome movie. Paul Rudd as Ant-Man, Scott Lang, was awesome. Like, honestly, he did a great job, and I loved Paul Rudd in real life as comedy and everything, and so put him in this movie, he was perfect as Scott Lang. He was perfect. Him as Scott Lang and his daughter relationship was pretty cool and all kind of stuff. I really liked that. It was awesome. And then you had the assistant Hope, I don't know her name, Evan Riley, she played Hope in this movie, the daughter of Michael Douglas. She was awesome, and I loved her character, and I really did it. I really did like her. And then Michael Douglas, who played Dr. Hank Pym, I forget, I think that's his name. Either way, he did awesome. Michael Douglas always does a good job, and he did a really good job. Michael Pena was hilarious, and honestly, I just really like this movie. I forget the guy who plays the main villain. I think it's Corey something. I'm just going to call him Corey. So Corey plays the villain, who is Yellowjacket in this movie. He was a good villain. He was no Ultron Loki, but he was a good villain. I like how they give him a backstory and everything, and Marvel really doesn't have that great of a villain in Phase 2 if you really look at the whole thing. And Yellowjacket, he was a very interesting villain, so I like the villain. I liked it a lot better than Guardian's villain, but Yellowjacket was a pretty cool villain. I really liked Yellowjacket. I like a badass villain. And then the guy who directed this movie is Peyton Reed. The original director was Edgar Wright. I love Edgar Wright, and Peyton Reed killed it with these action scenes. Like, these action scenes, I love how they're made. I love how Ant-Man's just running at you, and he'll just shrink down real quick. He'll get on someone's shoulder, and he'll flip someone through the window. He'll go in the ant hole and get all of his ant friends, and he'll get on a flying ant and go through electricity things. I love how this movie was filmed. I love how, like, it looked like when he gets tiny, you, the audience, feels tiny. And I really want to see this in IMAX because this seems like a really cool IMAX. I just love how, like, you really feel like you're a tiny ant when he becomes a tiny ant, pretty much. And he is so badass. Like, I'm telling you, Ant-Man is an awesome character. I love this character now. Like, I really didn't know anything about Ant-Man. I didn't know any of this stuff. He was a cool character, and I love this character now. I really want to see more. I want to see a sequel to Ant-Man. Ant-Man was awesome. All the characters were great. The villain was cool. It was interesting. Hope was a badass who didn't have a costume. Michael Douglas was awesome. And all the Avengers references and all kind of stuff, and all the its bits, whatever, they talk about the Avengers, the Iron Man, and it's just, I love seeing that stuff, and it really does mix into this universe great. The action was filmed awesome. I really enjoyed this movie. Now, my only complaint with this movie, there's a daughter in this movie. He has a daughter, and you know exactly where it's gonna go. I mean, I predicted it exactly. This movie is very predictable. It is kind of like Save the Day superhero, but it's how it's done was really good. So, overall, I really like this movie. I'm gonna have to give it a 4.5 out of 5. The movie was a little predictable and all kind of stuff. The villain wasn't my favorite villain ever, but he was a very cool and interesting villain. Best villain they've had in Phase 2, except for Ultron, actually. And by the way, stay and see both end credit scenes. There's one in the middle and there's one at the end. Please stay and see both. They are both awesome end credit scenes. I love those end credit scenes. Overall, this movie was awesome. It almost got a 5 out of 5 for me, but there was a couple problems I had, and I really enjoyed the movie though. Anyway guys, if you guys enjoyed this movie review, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.